Okay, to transform Vortex into his alt mode, first, as always, remove all the accessories. So take out his handgun, and if you got one with the tip, remove the tip because that's going to attach to the front part of the plane. And untab these side guns here, which tab in on the side and on the back. Put those aside because those are going to attach to the helicopter mode after. And then these jet thrusters or whatever, just rotate them upside down so the black piece is now on the bottom. And let's just lift up his arms to get him out of the way because we're going to start working on the bottom part. Okay, so now with the bottom, first let's turn his foot inwards like so, and then his toes, we want to rotate those around 180 on both sides. And from the bottom, you can see that the front and the back are attached together on this tab, so separate it, lift up this back piece and that pin, you can rotate it so it flattens out, and do the same on this side. Untab to separate the front and the back, lift it up on the pin, rotate it to flatten it out. And here, the foot, we can just ankle rocker these back up, so now his toes are facing upside down. And we can just drop down his feet like that. And then let's spread his legs out at an A stance so we have some room to work here. And we want to lift up this front part of the lower leg. And I just want to point something out that technically you should actually pull this triangle piece out because it's on a mushroom peg, if you could see. And then you could lift this piece up, fold it up all the way, and then lift this up. But you can actually do it this way, just lift this up, but then you're pulling on this mushroom peg here, which I kind of don't like. But you just lift it up, fold it down, and this triangle piece, untab that, and then tab it up so it's up here, like so. And then this back piece, what you want to do, see that tab, you want to pull back to untab it. And here on the bottom, you could see this small triangle piece and that little slot for the peg. So you want to rotate this and fold in the triangle piece to make it all nice and flat. Like so. And then do the same on the other side. So you want it already kind of came untabbed, but you want to untab it, and that it already happened. It's automorph transforming. That little triangle piece went in. Okay, so now we have it, the back part of the legs facing up like so. And what I like to do to make it a little bit easier to rotate this, it's a pin here because it's supposed to rotate 180, is I like to bend this foot here, bend the knee, which makes it a little bit easier to rotate that up like so. Once you do, then you see this blue piece here, it's on a double hinge, so you want to accordion this down, because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to line up that tab into that slot. Once you do, find the tab, line it up, tab it in. So do the same thing on this side. Again, I like to bend the foot, which makes it a little bit easier to rotate this foot, the side part of the leg, up. And then on the blue double hinge, you want to accordion this down where you're lining up this tab into that slot. Find the tab, line it up, tab it in. Okay, once we got that, and then Here I like to actually bend the legs up. I don't know if you could see, but bend his legs so it gives us some room to operate. And once we do that, now we can go ahead and bring these top pieces down, and it's a good time to start tabbing some pieces in. So go ahead, tab the top pieces in, flip this piece over to form the top part of the helicopter, and then this is on a slider, so then you slide it forward. And now you take the, if you got the handgun with the tip, you want to take the tip piece and find a slot, tab it in, give it a good squeeze, and then once you get the gun in, you can close those two together. And then here, these toes, you can just fold them up, tuck them in, and now we got that. Now this last piece, these are 3 tabs here, so here just make sure you got it lined up. Find the tabs, line it up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze. Do the same thing on this side. There, now we got this. Now to get situated, this is what we have. Now we can work on the upper part. So the upper part, we want to fold away his hand, so grab the top, the bottom here, make it easier to pull out this hand. And just want to point out the tolerance here is a little tight, so don't be worried if you have to apply some extra force to open it up. Once you do, rotate the hand 180, fold it in, get it ready to tuck in. After you get this black piece out, which is kind of hard, so you might need a spudger. I'm going to use this little gun here. Bring it out, then you could fold in the hand. And now this black piece, you're going to rotate it 180 so that the black circle is facing in the center. Do the same thing on this side. Grab the top, bring the hand down, rotate it 180, fold the hand in, get it ready to fold in. After you pull out this black piece, and then you could fold this hand in and rotate this black piece around 180 so that now the circle is facing the center. Okay, and then now this is what I like to do is make sure his arms are down like this before you lift up this tab here, which is on a fork, grabbing the tab on both sides. Once you tab it, then you can, from this tab here, you could lift this up, and then on this tab you're gonna fold the top chest plate over like so. Once you do, then you could see now you have the peg and the slot lined up there, or the male and female if that's what you want to call it. Find the tab, line it up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze, and then here the tab goes into that forearm. So find the tab, tab it in on both sides, and then give it a good squeeze. And now we can lift this up so that we can lift up these 2 jet thrusters or whatever they're called down. So now we have all 4 of them facing forward like so. Okay, now we want to pull back here to untab the back piece onto those 2 slots there, and then we can untab the side chest pieces here. And it's kind of hard to see, but it is on a double hinge here, so you can just open this up just enough where you can start unfolding out the tail part of the helicopter like so. Do it on both sides. Start accordioning this out like so. Once you do, then you could see these chest pieces. Fold those in, and here you want to pull down this panel here, which covers the bottom part of the helicopter on both sides. And now let's see, this top piece usually comes undone when you open this, so you can go ahead and tab that in or tab it closed on both sides. Okay, now that we got that, let's come back a little bit so we could see. You could see how this is supposed to come up, and I'm letting you know, I actually like to tab this in now because I think it makes it a little bit easier than trying to attach this after. So what I do is find those two tabs there into those two slots, line them up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze. So now these two pieces are connected. And then we can rotate this helicopter straight like so, and you could see where this is going. And this back piece, you want to slowly start pulling it down. Make sure this one's here kind of lining up on top. And once you got that, then now it's these pieces. So this side piece, you could see that mushroom slot right there. So find the mushroom peg, line it up, and tab it in on both sides. Let's get it in here. Okay. And now we need to lock this. So you could see the 4 tabs here. They do go into the little slots there. So what you want to do here is line them up. And once you get it lined up and tab it in, you want to find the tab, line it up. I don't know why it's a little bit tricky here. You want to see, make sure, yeah, okay, once you get it all lined up, tab it in. So make sure those are tabbed in on both sides, and then these two, give it a good squeeze so you could see how it's tapering down to an angle. And then now we want to close up these 2 back pieces. And I'm going to point out, this is also a mushroom peg. It does hold better, but sometimes it causes issues. So what I like to do is lift this side up, push this one down so it's kind of overlapping on top, and then it easily kind of tabs in that way. Once you get that, then you can go ahead and start closing these, tapping all these pieces together. And this piece here is on a slider, the tail, so you could push it in so it comes all flush like so. And here now we can go ahead and there's a tab here, there's a slot in there to close this top part, and also it tabs in here, so just give it a good squeeze here on both sides. Make sure you give it a good squeeze all over the place. And then the last thing here is just bring down these fins and flip this over. And these propellers here, you want to separate them, get that X going there. And then these propellers here on the helicopter, it does kind of roll because it's on a ball joint, so you can kind of push down here to give a little bit more room to pull these out from underneath. So do it all on all 4 sides. So each time you do it, I like to push down here to give it a little bit more room to bring them out. Makes it a little bit easier. And make sure you give each one a good squeeze so that they're nice and straight. Otherwise it starts bending down looking like a spider legs. And here, this piece, you want to lift it up, the landing wheel, and it's at a 45-degree angle so that it can be straight. Don't push it down all the way. Okay, once we got that all done, then the last one is attaching these guns on the tail. And let me just point out here that this side, you could see which one is it? It's this bottom one. How do you know it's the bottom one? Because the other side does not have the slot up here. So to keep it symmetrical, it needs to go on the bottom one. And attach this last one here, like so. Make sure you give these a good squeeze because you don't want them popping off and then you end up losing those small pieces. So that's it. Now we have Vortex in his alt mode.